A man thrashes beneath the weight of inevitability. Two women lean in, muscles tensed, sleeves rolled, bodies locked in a choreography of survival. A sword glides downward, gleaming like a line of fate. This is not a quiet moment. This is not a distant legend. This is the instant where courage becomes violent and salvation takes the shape of two determined hands. Today we step into a painting where the light cuts deeper than the blade and the silence holds centuries of unspoken truths. Long before Artemisia lifted her brush, the story lived in the Book of Judith, a deuterocanonical text of the Old Testament, a Jewish city, Bethulia, starving under siege, an Assyrian general Holofernes, undefeated, unstoppable, and a widow Judith who chooses to step beyond the boundaries of fear. She enters the enemy camp. He drinks. He collapses. She rises. She severs his head with his own sword and returns to her people with justice wrapped in cloth. It is a story of courage carved into midnight. A story built for painters, but none would inhabit it like Artemisia Gentileschi. Artemisia's life was not made of gentle beginnings. At 17, she was raped by her tutor, Agostino Tassi, a man the courts protected more than they protected her. The trial that followed was public, brutal, humiliating. She was tortured with thumbscrews to verify her testimony while her attacker walked through the process with far less consequence. This was the world she was forced to survive. And so, when Artemisia painted Judith, she did not paint a saint in distant myth. She painted a woman whose fury has reason, whose strength is earned, whose resolve is familiar. Art historians do not whisper about this connection. They recognize it. This painting is not a symbol. It is a reckoning. The room is so tight you feel your own breath shorten. Judith's body leans forward with athletic precision. No delicate tilt, no graceful distance. Her arms strain, her jaw holds steady. Her maidservant braces herself, gripping Holofernes with the force of someone who has known fear and refuses to feel it again. Holofernes lunges upward, his muscles coiled in panic. This is not a lifeless villain. This is a man fighting for the last heartbeat. The sword arcs downward, not lightly, not effortlessly, but with real weight, real labor, real resistance. Blood does not politely flow, it erupts, thick and arterial, saturating the sheets that once tried to hide seduction. The lighting whispers of Caravaggio. Artemisia's father admired him, her household breathed his chiaroscuro, and Rome itself echoed his violence. Caravaggio's own Judith beheading Holofernes shows a younger Judith recoiling in moral discomfort, her arm extended like someone trying to keep distance from the act she must perform. The maid in his painting is old, passive, almost symbolic, a witness, not a partner. His painting is dramatic, but Artemisia's is personal. Caravaggio gives us a scene. Artemisia gives us experience. But here lies something extraordinary. Artemisia painted Judith slaying Holofernes twice. The first version, created around in 1612 to 1613 and now housed in Naples, already showed strength, violence, and emotional clarity. But Judith's face was not yet fully hers. The fury had shape, but not identity. Years later, Artemisia returned to the canvas and redrew the painting, not simply revising details, but inserting herself into the role of Judith. In the later Uffizi version, Judith's face looks unmistakably like Artemisia's own. The physicality is more intense, shoulders squared, torso engaged, wrists firm, diagonal light, the world splitting open between oppression and justice. The bedsheets, seduction transformed into battlefield. Judith's face, Artemisia's own determination immortalized. Nothing in this canvas is passive, nothing is decorative, everything is confession. Today, the painting hangs in the Uffizi Gallery in Florence, and viewers do not simply look at it, they withstand it. Because this painting confronts you. It tells you that stories are rewritten when women take back the brush. It tells you that pain can become narrative, and narrative can become power. Artemisia's Judith does not kill Holofernes for glory. She kills him for survival. And Artemisia does not paint the moment for shock. She paints it because she lived in a world where justice often had to be imagined before it could be seen. In Artemisia's hands, shadow is not absence, it is memory. Judith is not a symbol. She is a woman whose story is finally allowed to breathe. And this canvas, born from trauma and defiance, remains one of the most powerful declarations in art history. When the world denies you justice, sometimes you create it yourself.